In this short tutorial, I'm going to show you another syntax for importing modules. So if you remember from our previous video, we had a file with 4 different functions that add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And we imported it into our main file by doing import operations. This works because this file is actually in the same folder as the current file that we're using. So as long as it's in here, then we can import it. And you might notice that after running this, you get PyCatch. This is fine, just don't worry about it, just ignore this. So these are the 2 files, and tutorial.py is the file that we run when executing our program, although our program does consist of 2 files. So here's the other syntax I'm going to show you. Let's just delete all this code, and let's say we only wanted to import just a few functions from our operations module instead of the whole module. Let's make it so we can only import add and subtract. I'll type from operations, so this is the module we're importing, import, and let's do add and subtract. So with this, we're saying, I want to import add and subtract from operations. So it's from the operations module, import, add and subtract. It reads kind of like English. We have a different way to actually run these functions. So when using the from keyword, you don't use the module name like this, .add. You don't do operations.add like we did last time. We actually don't need this whole entire thing. We just do add, because when we're importing functions from a module, only specific functions, those functions are treated like they're just functions that we just wrote up here, like add, and then, args, whatever. It treats it like we're writing it in this file. So instead of it being an object, we just get this function, so we can print add 10 and 5, and we'll do 2 and 3 and 4, and here we get 24. So the reason you don't actually have to add the operations is just because we usually import it as an object with functions inside of it, which was just import operations. But when we import specific functions, we're just treating each one as a function that's part of the current file, meaning we don't prefix it with a dot or anything. Modules are very useful for organizing our code, because instead of writing all the functions and classes in one file, it's better to break it up into separate modules, as long as it's a big enough program. This program is very small, so we actually don't need to do that for this program, but it's just an example. All functions and classes in one module should be related. For example, we called our operations module operations because it contained functions that did mathematic operations. If we had a different function that sent an email, we would definitely not put it in operations. We would have it in an email.py file, and it would not be in operations.